Hey, what's up everyone? Danny here, and welcome to my overview tutorial on how to automate tasks using Zapier between two different applications. So, kind of just to put it on the table right away, I use Zapier.com to automate tasks between Google Spreadsheets and a visual project management app called Trello. It really helps me manage my work in progress. It helps me look at what books are coming up for release, and so I always have a pulse on my business at any given point, any given day of the week, which is very crucial for me. Because a little bit about my background is I have a full-time job. I know there's a lot of you that probably are in the same boat. So I don't have a lot of time to devote and dedicate to my working in my Kindle business. But I also have a virtual assistant staff that's really great and who helps me out a lot. And so combination between that and automating tasks between applications has really kind of helped me eliminate some of the manual work and some of the low value work and focus on the high value work and automating it as much as possible. Um, I my time is valuable just like yours, and so doing something like this, if you are a type of person that likes to utilize applications. I work in IT on my day job, so applications are I don't know where I would be without them. So I do as much as I can in different apps. So let's get started. Uh, I use Zapier.com and I use it between Google Sheets and Trello. I create books in my Google Sheets, kind of like a data repository of books that are in progress and that I want to publish at some point. And so what I do is I flesh out the information, book titles, the author name, pen names I'm going to use, all that information, when my writers need to get my books back, their deadlines and milestones, and then the release dates and things like that. So I do all of that, manage that primarily in a spreadsheet, um, and then I basically, once all the information that's needed for a book to start being worked on actively by a writer and managed by my project manager. We have the title all set up, and we have the theme all set up, and we have the writer assigned, that we know who's going to work on it ahead of time. So all that stuff is fleshed out, and then you put a Y in here, and that's just kind of queuing up this particular story that it's ready for being managed as work in progress. So I put a little yes in there, and then after that, it's all automated. So Zapier runs every 15 minutes. It's basically kind of like a rule-based engine that runs based off certain criteria, and then it will take the information from Google Sheets and port that into Trello as a card. So it's going to take any information that I update in the spreadsheet row, and it's going to create a new card based on that. So here's how it happens. First, let's test the accounts. We're going to test our Google Sheets account that we're connecting and our Trello account that we're connecting, just to make sure everything's working properly. Then we're going to go into the Google Sheets, the source of what we're trying to trigger. So in that case, for me, I'm going to be triggering this yes value in the column B. And what that does is, looking at the custom filter in Zapier, you'll see the information. I'm looking for this ready for Trello column, and if it matches yes, I basically know that, or Trello, I'm sorry, Zapier knows that there needs to be a new card created in Trello, and it'll ignore everything else. So if I put a no in there or a Z or any of the other letter, it's not going to do anything. Then in here on my matchup in step 5, I choose the board that I have set up in Trello that I want to create the card in, as well as the column that I want it to be created in. I want it to be created in assignments ready because that's the column that my team looks at, and whenever there's a new card in there, they automatically pull it into their work in progress and start managing the writers and getting the covers and things like that. So go back here. So then, based on the information that's highlighted here in orange, all this is basically, these are variables. These are information. Basically, the variable means that it's sourcing this information from Google Sheets. So I use Trello card name cover info as a title for my new card that gets created in Trello, and that information is sitting right here in column C, Trello card name and cover information. So once I do that, that's for me, that's a absolute requirement. It's just having the same name. You can put in other metadata as well, or you can put nothing. It's really up to you on how you want to view your workflow. I find putting a book ID and as well as the writer name, the deadline that I've given them, all the stuff that's in the spreadsheet already, and porting them into Trello is great for me, because I rarely do anything in my Google Sheets anymore. My team does that, and so I just focus on monitoring the visual work in progress. So that's it. Going down, you'll see there are a lot of other options you can pick. Member, I use that to automatically assign that to my virtual project manager. So she basically gets all of these automated story cards assigned to her. And then the release date. So the due date that's put on a card is actually the release date, and the date that it has to be published on the store by, the Kindle store. And then there's other things down here, such as checklists and things like that. So if there's anything individually that you want to be addressed with a certain book, make sure you have all your all your bases covered. You can create checklist items based on what you want to do. So after all that stuff is filled out, you click Test This Zap, and you'll see anything that's available here. Since I checked off a Y here already, it's already seeing that. So that'll be the book that it ends up pulling from Google Sheets and puts into Trello. So let's see that right now. So we have nothing in Trello. We're going to test it out by hitting Test Zap with this sample, and it's going to send it. It's sending it, and now it's just created it. So it created it with all the checklist items, all the other data that I wanted to bring over from Google Sheets. It now sits in this card, and we're ready to go. So my virtual project manager checks this, and she will go ahead and pull the stories in to the work in progress, and it's downhill from there. So as the work gets finished, it goes all the way from left to right, and in my Monday release, and my promotions. So I'm able to get a better grasp and flow of each book that is in progress and released to my KDP account. So that's essentially the overview of how I use it. You can use it any way you'd like. Some people just use a Google spreadsheet. For me, I'm a visual guy, and I like having to see that data move left to right. So that's why I use Trello. And it also looks nice too when you attach. I don't have any images here, but when you attach cards for the covers, my VAs attach the covers, and it looks beautiful. And it allows me to have them handle that stuff instead of me searching in my Fiverr account for all these different covers. They attach the covers here, and I can choose what I like best or anything like that. So once you are satisfied with it, you'll go ahead and name the Zap, and then turn the Zap on. It'll run every 15 minutes in the background, and you're all set. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, let me know, but hopefully this helps you out, and good luck with your publishing.